What is the first thing that comes to mind when I say Honda Civic? Ricers.
Who do the shit that I do?
So do you have anything done to the car?
Now, what do you think the Honda Civic is of the gun world? The PSA Dagger. Now, the PSA Dagger was released in 2021 based on the Glock Gen 3 patent. And all of a sudden, a bunch of companies just started making a bunch of Glock Gen 3 clones. Like, you got the MR920, you got the PSA Dagger for $350, and every other striker fire polymer 80 type of lower that you can get, and you can buy any slide on Amazon. So basically, it's just a Glock Gen 3 clone. There's some slight changes. I have a Gen 3 3D printed gun right here. I don't know, you can't even tell, but you can see the locking block right there. It's a two-piece locking block, but otherwise the entire internals are almost exactly the same except for an extra pin. You can see that there's 3 pins right there. 1, 2, 3, and then you got your 4th one on the back. For the PSA one, you have an all-in-one locking block, and basically the internals are exactly the same again. And then you got your 2 pins, and then you got your 1 pin back here. Now, when the PSA Dagger was released in 2021, it did have its issues. I believe Warrior Poet or someone realized that the pins were walking out, so they replaced those pins and put, I believe, roller pins so that they wouldn't actually walk themselves out as you shoot. And that's when I decided to get one after they fixed it. Because like a new car, you probably shouldn't buy the first version of anything until they work out the kinks. So waited a little bit, and then I bought the PSA Dagger full size. And then I also had an X Macro at the time. I recently sold that, and I have a PSA Dagger compact for my everyday carry. And I don't have it in here, but I have a PSA Dagger for my everyday carry. And I bet a lot of people are going to be like, well, why didn't you get a Glock? Because I didn't want it. Arrest me. It's going to sound like a cliche, but I didn't like the grip angle. Honestly, the grip angle just didn't suit me. I was used to shooting more vertical grips, like the X Macro. I did enjoy shooting that. Didn't really like it because it was snappy, and I didn't see the point because I could conceal a bigger gun because I'm a smaller frame dude. It was a lot easier, and I didn't mind the uncomfortableness of a larger pistol. So I was like, all right, let's get rid of the X Macro. I also didn't like that if you bought a Glock, you had to pay extra for the MOS, or you had to go get your slide milled. Thought that's kind of stupid. You could buy a PSA Dagger for $350 and have or for $350 to $400 and get an entire package of like suppressor height sights, and you can get a RMR cut slide or the other stupid cut that you probably shouldn't get. But yeah, for the price, it's kind of insane. So I was like, well, let's rice this thing out. I can do whatever I want to it. I don't have to worry about it because it's a Glock Gen 3 frame, or has Glock Gen 3 internals, and I can replace anything I don't like. And yeah, just like a Honda Civic, go on eBay, find all the parts you want, and rice out your car. I actually had no reliability issues with my PSA Dagger. I think I've probably put 700 to maybe 900 rounds through my PSA Dagger since I've had it, and I've had a single failure except when I installed the wrong screws, and that caused me to have failure to go into battery, and I have no idea why. I think the screws are too long. So I swapped screws out, and it fixed everything. So just remember to put the right screws in, I guess. Now this is where the PSA Dagger comes in. This is my custom PSA Dagger, and as you can see, the upgrades I have on it is Olight, TLR7X, custom stippling that I did with a soldering iron, and I was actually very terrified until I realized this is a $60 frame and I should not give 2 craps about what happens to it. Did stipple under here, didn't do a double undercut, just kept a single undercut and added stippling there. No magwell, no compensator. Added an Apex enhanced trigger with the TLR7X. So basically, my competition pistol I have a T-Rex Arms Ragnarok, and yeah, this thing has been a workhorse. Haven't had a single failure through it. Did the comps. You're gonna think this is cringe, but I have an O sight. Shut up. And it's done very well. Like I've done it at competitions. Hasn't lost zero. I bore sighted it in, and then I check after the range, and it's kept at zero every time I bore sight. So I literally can't complain with it. Not sure how it would work up for duty use, but I'll let you know how it holds up. But yeah, if this thing does good, I'll do an update on the O sight itself and let you know how I feel about the sight. I just like it because it was $150 on Prime Day or something like that. It has a massive window and I think that's great without having to pay like for a Trijicon SRO. Siley makes a SRO, and you're gonna think it's cringe, but I want to try that out too. Got a lot of Amazon's return policy, right? Yeah, this is the Apex trigger. I just got it. I haven't shot with it yet, but just looking at the trigger pull, you can see right there. Hopefully you can. Got 90 degree, and then it'll just break. So, and then you can see the reset. Just like a Glock trigger, has a little bit of travel, but breaks cleanly. So it's better than the crappy hinge of the default PSA Dagger. I prefer a Glock stock trigger than the PSA Dagger hinge one. But since this was like 120 or $90 on eBay, I was like, might as well just do it for comp and see how good it does. If I have no failures, I might throw it in my carry pistol, but I want to get at least 500 rounds through this before I actually upgrade my carry pistol. Now, this is what I mean by ricing up the pistol. I did not care about this pistol at all. It was $350 to $400. I actually did not care about this pistol. Like I said, I was super scared to stipple this for the first time because I've only stippled 3D printed guns just for fun, and I was like, I should not care. The frame is literally $60, and you could probably get a better deal on it if you monitor PSA's website and get a new one if you truly mess up a stipple. So I was like, all right, I guess we'll send it. I stayed within the lines and I stippled it, and it's crazy how grippy it is. It's like, it feels so good compared to the stock one. The stock one almost feels like there's something there. When shooting targets at longer ranges, I always felt like I was pulling it and having to readjust. It could also just be my trigger pull, but I always felt I had to readjust my grip because a lot of people use also liquid chalk. I don't need to do that, but I'd rather get good at shooting without using chalk. But having this stippling here for my support hand and my index finger kind of getting stuck there as holding it, and my entire hand, it feels like I have a lot of grip on the gun. Also, this right here, this stippling right here, you can't really tell on camera, but there's a little bit of an indentation. So there was no stippling there before. But when you put your support hand on there, it kind of feels like a gas pedal. So as you can see, there's no gas pedal, but it has a little bit of indentation. And when you add that little bit of stippling, it feels like you have a gas pedal because your thumb just sticks to it, and that little lip gives you that extra like purchase on the gun when you're shooting. So I'll let you know how it actually feels when I do a competition, but I'm really excited to shoot this. I think next competition is in August, so I'll give you an update. But yeah, I'll put some clips in here and you'll see how much I have to adjust my hands at longer ranges. But I think that's also just my trigger pull and also the trigger being kind of cheeks. I don't have my classifications yet, but I think the last time I did it, because you need to do 4 in a row, or 4 classifications. My last one I did C level run, and I think the one before that I did D for my first time. So in August will be my 3rd time doing a USPSA competition. So I'm kind of excited to see how these little ricing upgrades feel. I also added an extended mag release right here. The PSA one is very cheeks. It's kind of recessed. And the spring is very tight for some reason. I don't know if they fixed it on any of the newer ones, probably not. But having this extra, trying to press it without breaking your grip is pretty hard, so upgrading it is a must in my opinion. I also might add a raised slide release because I realize on lock, actually my slide never locks because I'm so high up on the gun. I'm literally just not allowing it to lock. So one of the extra things I did to rice this out was, so the pistol comes with 17 round PMags. So I basically just 3D printed base plate extensions. So the one I found, someone actually made them. I think it was a +2 extension. I basically just put it in CAD and extended the base plate to make it a +3. Actually, I might have, honestly, I'm not really good at CAD, so I kind of extended it too far, and now it's like a +4. Everyone at competition, I realized they all have base plates, and they're kind of insane. They have like +5, +6 round base plate extensions. So I was like, I guess I gotta do it too. So yeah, just added a base plate extension. Also did it for one of the Glock mags I had. This is printed in carbon fiber nylon. It took a while to figure out how to print with carbon fiber nylon, but it actually works very well. And it is hopefully, I'll give you an update on it, but I don't know if you guys really care about filament, but we'll see how many drops this can take before it starts cracking. But with carbon fiber nylon, it should hold up to the winter temperatures that I'll be shooting and the summer temperature heat. And all the impacts it's going to take. So hopefully this lasts a while, but it will be pretty neat to see how well this holds up. But yeah, just uses the stock springs. Haven't had any issues with it. And then yeah, we'll see how this holds up. But this is also one of the ricing things I did. Take a Magpul 17 round. Didn't have to spend $40 on a PSA base plate extension for this mag, but yeah. I think it was pretty cool to 3D print it. But well, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully this gives you inspiration to rice out your pistols. I really enjoyed the PSA Dagger. I like PSA as a company, and it was just really fun to get into the Glock world at a very cheap price and kind of understand everyone's obsession with the Glock ecosystem, and just it's literally the building blocks of the gun world. So I love gaming PCs. I love that you can like pick parts from here and there from different companies and like build your own custom gaming PC. And it just translated right into the PSA Dagger world, where I can buy this really cheap functioning pistol and basically do all upgrades I want to it to turn it from just a mediocre, like, okay, it works, it shoots, that's fine, basically just like a Glock, and make it my own, and hopefully to be more competitive in competitions. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed that video, just hit like and subscribe, and see you guys later.